A special thanks to the wonderful company and Kern County Superintendent of Schools for their generous donations toward Bakersfield Symphony education programming. Hello, I'm Kendra Green, Education Program Specialist with the Bakersfield Symphony, and today I'd like to introduce you to who I think is one of the most underrated classical composers, Joseph Bologne. Bologne led an incredible life. His father was a French plantation owner in the Caribbean, and his mother was one of his father's slaves. Bologne was taken to France when he was 8 years old by his father, where he grew up and lived most of his adult life. He was an incredible musician, composer, and conductor, but his first claim to fame was fencing. He was considered the best fencer in France. We don't know when or how he learned to play the violin, but he was quite talented in that realm as well, and he was soon named conductor of the orchestra he played in. Once under his leadership, that same orchestra became known as the best orchestra in Paris and one of the best in all of Europe. Bologne also applied to be the director of the Paris Opera, but unfortunately ran into difficulties because of his race. There were singers who refused to perform under his direction. While this was obviously wrong and undoubtedly incredibly discouraging to Bologne, he did not let that stop him. He did withdraw his application to be director of the Paris Opera, but he then focused his energies on writing operas. He was going to get into that opera house one way or another. Bologne's first symphony is a beautiful example of early classical music. There are 3 movements, and like most symphonies of the classical and romantic periods, each movement is referred to by its tempo marking. Tempo is the speed of the music, although sometimes the terms used for the tempo provide some clue as to the character of the music as well. Movement 1 is marked allegro. Musicians know that allegro is fairly fast, but not super fast. Allegro is actually an Italian word that means cheerful or lively. Keep this in mind when you listen to the music. How does Bologne make the first movement cheerful and lively? Is it a certain instrument that brings a lively joy to the music, or a specific melody? What do you think? Movement 2 is marked andante, another Italian word that means walking. This would be a slower speed than the allegro, supposedly a speed that would imitate a walking pace. As you listen, think about this walk that Bologne is taking you on. What kind of conversation might you be having? Is it a lighthearted stroll through the park, or a more strenuous trek up a hill? Are you taking in the scenery or deep in thought? Movement 3 is marked allegro assai, meaning very fast. The first few notes of this movement fake you out. They don't seem fast at all, and then the strings take off. Be on the lookout for this fake out moment at the beginning of the movement. I hope you've enjoyed learning a little bit about Joseph Bologne, and I hope you enjoy hearing his first symphony at our upcoming performance.